The Rap Roundtable.
Ah, yes. ICEMAN weekend has passed along. There's been a lot of opinions, a lot of takes, a lot of emotions. I'm seeing Twitter spaces. I'm seeing paragraph breakdowns. I'm seeing the white dude walking his dog talking about legalities in UMG. I am seeing it all. I'm seeing static in our group chat about this. A lot of darts being thrown, a lot of conversations being had about this good old Iceman. But we are, in fact, the Rap Roundtable. It's your guy Jarv alongside Dini the Balance, alongside Sincere the Rap Sob, alongside Macito, OVO Macito, the #1 Drake fan in the world. And we have a very, very special guest, friend of the show. You know, when the big albums drop, we got a tap on the shoulder of the best voice doing it, the company man, to get in here and give his perspectives on the music. So, company man, what's good? Welcome back to our lunch table. You are a friend of the show. No crazy intros needed. You gang, basically.
Yes, sir.
Yo, appreciate it. Always happy to be back. This is exciting week. Drake week. Lots to discuss. I'm excited about it. 3 albums, man.
Three albums. What is it, 43 songs in total, Dini?
43.
Yes, sir.
43 songs. Yeah.
Holy, a lot of Drake music.
Sheesh.
3 albums, 3 different vibes, 3 attempts to make shit shake. It almost feels like 2024 all over again, doesn't it? Wasn't it 100 gigs for your head top before? Now it's 43 tunes for your head top.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, nevertheless, before we get into the breakdown, before we chop it up with the company, man, we got some family business to attend to. I haven't seen Sincere this active in the group chat since Kendrick dropped. There's been a lot of data flying. It's been a lot of data flying.
I'm always active.
You're right. Before we get to that data, though, I need everybody to stop what they're doing. Stop in
You're
your
the
tracks.
voice. You're the voice. Get out of here.
Yes. Stop in your tracks right now. Shout out Philosophical Radio. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe option. Hit the notification bell. Follow us everywhere. Log in to all things Rap Roundtable. Stop what you're doing. Like, subscribe. If you're catching this after the live stream, swipe and hype. If you're watching it right now, come back and swipe and hype. Do the necessary things to log into the Rap Roundtable. Shout out everybody who's followed us on Instagram as well as IG is going up. We just crossed over 4,000 followers over there. We're spending a lot of time trying to build up that energy, and it's been paying dividends. We're trying to get the 10K real soon on the follow side over there. So make sure you do that. Follow us over here. We're about to touch 25,000 for our subscribers as well. So log into all things Rap Roundtable. You don't have to agree. You don't even have to like us too crazy. But, hate watch. But log in. That's all I'm saying. Now, Sincere the Rap Snob, you've been throwing a lot of data in that group chat. Macito has been Floyd Mayweather evading said data. It's been a lot of show. It's been a lot of silence with this data. But the fact of the matter is this: it's been a lot of declining day over day with Iceman. The numbers ain't numbering in a way that OVO fans would like. At least that's what I think. So Macito to the front of the class. You've been quiet. The data's been in front of you. Sincere has been provided. He's been the industry insider in our group chat.
Right.
What do you have to say about who the thug? What do you have to say about the tumbling streaming data that's been taking place with the Iceman?
Listen, you know how I always say that I get most of my Drake information from Kendrick fans first. 50% of the time, I'm talking about Sin when I say that. Let's be honest here. 7 a.m. in the group chat. A bunch of, you know what I'm saying? 7 a.m. in the group chat.
You think I'd be hitting you with these texts if we didn't have a podcast to work on? I'm just providing the facts, brother. We just need the facts for the podcast. That's all I'm doing.
Interesting facts. But
interesting indeed.
But it's like I say, facts are technically facts, right? But what are they without context? What are they without analyzing further? What are they without just throwing numbers out? You know what I mean? Like, what does that even mean, right? Like that's all I'm saying. So my thing is this, right? The numbers are the numbers. We've seen the fall off, we've seen the percentages, we've seen what's going on with them, but using this as some sort of he really is down. It really doesn't make any sense to me, because if you analyze the For All the Dogs numbers, they're pretty much kind of the same when you think about it. So if you, in 2023, pre-battle, pre-everything going on, if you didn't feel like, hey, Drake is done, Jarv did. He was the only guy. So I don't want to hear anybody say it. But if anybody else felt that at that time, then, you know, then I understand. But to throw out these numbers like, hey, look what Drake's doing without actually looking at what he's done throughout his career, the step up that it is from you know, the last project, then what are we doing here, Sin? What are we really doing? Are you criticizing Drake more than others like I accused you of on Friday?
What do you mean by criticizing him more than others? I don't know what.
Listen.
In what context? Like, because we're talking about context, like
family.
Are you asking?
Remember, just for a reminder, it was the Big Pen. It was the Big Pen. Pause. Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa.
Hey.
See, I want to. It was the big pun conversation.
Right. It was the big pun conversation where I so eloquently put how
we've never talked numbers. We don't talk numbers in general, right? Amongst ourselves. We talk numbers when it's, you know, obviously the big three, maybe
Drake
a few others out there.
Apparently.
Well, I mean, we talk numbers with Drake. We've talked numbers with Kendrick. We've certainly talked numbers with J. Cole. Like when it's big three conversation, everything has to be on the table. Like the entirety of, we want to talk context. All of the context surrounding those artists. Those are three huge artists. Everything is going to get talked about. Are we supposed to ignore the numbers now because Drake is tanking over the weekend?
Absolutely.
Is that what you want us to do?
Not. I absolutely won't ignore the numbers. I'm actually glad you mentioned J. Cole because ICEMAN has actually already outstreamed the fall off entire first week, and he's, you know, so far this week. So shout to J. Cole. 3 big artists, like you say, but there is a totem pole, you know. But let's speak about this, all right? 140 billion streams on the first day. Outstanding number. Don't know what was going on with the Spotify intern team tweeting out clear facts that manually counting numbers. I thought that was for guys like me, not places like Spotify. Who knows what was going on there? But 140 million the first day, I believe. What is it? 70 million the second day, Sin? Am I correct in those numbers? Cut in half. 50% drop. Lethal. I was very quiet yesterday in the group chat when I saw that. Went to go do something, okay? But now that another day has come, I have something to actually come back to you, Sin, because like I said, this third day, what number are we now with this third day, Sin, with ICEMAN?
We're at 50,000 and change. It dropped another 28. Let's say 30%.
30%, but the total number.
Nice round numbers. The total number 50,000. 50 million, not thousand.
I was like,
50 million.
50 million. So on the third day, we have 50 million with ICEMAN. So that's what? 140, 70, 50 in the last day. For All the Dogs was 108 the first day, 75 the second day, and 48 the third day. Specifically, that third day percentage drop is actually less for All the Dogs. I mean, for less on ICEMAN than it was for All the Dogs. Not to mention, he has 2 complete other albums taking away attention, garnering millions of streams themselves. So we can get, you know, I'm not gonna be mad about anybody's how anybody feels about the album with it as far as the product of the album. That's not nothing to argue anybody about. That's completely understandable. But if we're gonna just throw blanket numbers out here and just say, hey, he's falling off, I didn't hear you saying that during the For All the Dogs run, Sin. So why are you saying it now?
I don't remember that far back. Honestly, that doesn't sound completely accurate. That sounds like something that would have been.
I got it.
That sounds like it would have been part of the argument or part of the conversation at some point. Do you have like a timestamp for when we reacted to For All?
Wow, Sin. Wow, Sin. That's what we doing.
Different.
Hey, he opened it up. He opened it up. He opened it up. You know what I mean? Because like the other day when we were having a conversation, he wanted to make sure that we were perfectly accurate in the statements that we made because we didn't want to be irresponsible as a platform. right? So if you're saying that I never brought up the For All the Dog numbers, then maybe pull up the receipts.
You definitely said it was trash. I'll give you that. You definitely called it trash, which
So,
I'm not arguing
like
that. I actually thought the same.
Right. But what I'm saying is, do you have proof that I did not say that?
You're a liar.
I don't have the proof.
All right, so you might be misremembering. You might be misremembering.
This remind me of the Boondocks.
This definitely sounds like a conversation
I can't lie.
we've had in the past.
I don't want to lie because then I'll be a liar.
Okay.
This definitely sounds like a conversation that we've had in the past.
I guess we'll have
in
to
one way or
revisit
another.
the footage.
Yeah, let's do that.
All
yeah,
right.
let's do that. Is that all you got? Is that all you have?
Well, it's a numbers conversation.
Gotta play coy. He know that I've been the one saying Drake has been falling on the cliff for the last 3 years of this platform. I've been saying Drake is falling off a really high cliff. You know what I mean? And Sin usually not the numbers guy in the group chat ever. It was very jarring for me. I don't know about Didi, but it was very jarring for me to see Sin throw so much statistical data at us. He's usually the rap snob. I'm a little confused.
Bill Nye.
That's what I was saying.
I don't see what there's to be confused about. I've definitely thrown numbers in the past. It's not my general go-to thing to do. You know what I mean? Because I don't generally operate in numbers when I'm talking music. But again, when it comes to the big three, definitely done it for Kendrick. I've done it for J. Cole, and I'm doing it for Drake. You know what I mean? And to add to that, if Jarv is the one to be the first one to say he's falling off a cliff numbers-wise, what am I going to do? Repeat what Jarv said? What's the point of that?
What's the problem in repeating it? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm just saying. You already said it. You know I don't like repeating myself or repeating what anybody else said.
I feel like we talking in circles here, though. Saying what you saying you don't remember if you say it. I'm asking, do you remember? And I just want to know if we're just talking numbers.
Why are we still on this?
That's my total point.
There's more important things to talk about than whether or not 5 years ago I mentioned numbers in that.
So sincere, what you was throwing the numbers in there for? Let's get to that.
Because we have a podcast. And this is the most anticipated release since, matter of fact, I would say since GNX, but GNX was a surprise drop. So probably the most anticipated release since the Fall Off, which we definitely talked numbers about, and I was throwing numbers in the chat, right? And before that, probably another Drake album, which I probably was also in one way, shape, or form talking numbers in the chat. We do this for the big three every time.
Not the positive numbers, the nasty numbers, bro. When I was starting doing bad,
bro, there's like 5 different messages from you strictly about stats, bro. You ain't do that for Cole or Kenny. You dragging it. You gassing it because it was 2. It was 2. Right. It was day 2 and day 3, and then that was it. Facts. Company man. What's going on, good brother? You hear what Maxito has to say. I think that the drop is pretty loud considering the anticipation. Do you think that this let's say 60% in total drop is concerning considering how people are ingesting ICEMAN, or is it more about the fact that there's 2 other albums, so on and so forth? Where are you at with the stats dropping off day over day?
Well, I think I do want to comment on the difference between this and For All the Dogs. And the difference is the whole Shakespearean shakedown. The entire battle is the difference. You know, since that battle, everybody's been looking at what these guys were going to do next, what that first release was going to be like. I'd argue that Drake will never have, none of these guys, truthfully, will never have this many eyes on them. People who are just immediately tapped in from hearing about the lawsuit, from seeing the Super Bowl, from the fact he was been advertising ICEMAN for multiple years, from the ICEMAN streams all last summer, from Which One that was on the charts however long ago. You know, he's got 2 songs, Which One and What Did I Miss, that were top 20 songs last year, right? This album has already been running. If we're looking at how streams work, these are on the album. They've been calculating streams for years. We know that this is going to do well. And so the fact that, in particular, Drake fans themselves, have been looking forward to this for so long, to see that drop, it does stand out to me. Yeah. And I think that is indicative of the music, because I think more than anything else, people just want Drake to be in the marketplace. They want him to win. Right, and when I say people, I mean people who work in the music industry. Stat and DJ remind me of that every week, multiple times a week. They remind me of that, and then also Drake fans themselves. And so I wasn't shocked about the first day drop, the second day drop. I thought it was going to actually hold a little tighter on the second day, to be honest. Oh. So, that's where I'm at. But yeah, look, I don't necessarily think about streams the way other people do. I think that is fascinating to watch just over these few days, watching Drake fans like sort of move the goalposts about what success looks like. Oh, we're blowing it out the water. We breaking every record the first week. Oh, Spotify manually changed the numbers. Hey, well, that's okay. We're doing better than we did before. Oh, are we really? Well, it's kind of hard to tell. But really, this is 3 albums. So now he's out of his deal. Wait, he might not be out of his deal. But you know what I'm saying? He's going to be running the summer. Then he's going to be running the fall. And I think the fact that that conversation moves so much is also very indicative to the quality of music everybody received.
Great point. Dini the Balance. Before I get to my take, Dini the Balance, what do you think? I mean, Macito made a strong point by comparing it to For All the Dogs. That was a nice little counterpunch there by Macito. But what are your thoughts on this 140, essentially a 50% drop off, another percentage drop off? Like he's kind of declining, if you will. What do you think about that?
There's a lot of things to attribute to it. You could, for instance, you got to take into account the hate listens. You get what I'm saying? There's a huge chunk of people who just wanted to just hear it one time to see if they're going to fuck with it or not. And if they fuck with it, they stuck around. If they didn't, that was just a one and done for them, So a lot of people going to fall off on that note. But in terms of it's still doing hella numbers. You get what I'm saying? The people that fuck with it do fuck with it. Like, and I haven't seen this many mixed reactions on the album in so long, bro. Like so many people are actually fucking with it, and so many people are just not fucking with it. I think it's a combination of a lot of things, man. Like you just said, Macito, 2 other albums, and I feel like those albums are heavily leaning towards the ladies. Shout out to the ladies.
Right.
So that's gonna pull listens away too, especially if they feel like the Habibti and the
Maid of
the other one, Maid of Honor has more of their type of tunes. Like Iceman's a hip hop album, it's a rap album. So I think when the ladies are applying their blush in the mirror, getting ready to go out, a Bipty just probably hit harder for them the way like a fucking the 1 a.m. drink. Remember my, you know what I'm saying? Hits harder for us. I think it's a combination of a lot of shit, bro. I don't think it's anything in terms of like the sabotage or anything like that. I just think people who were fucking with it are just like, I'm staying with it. And the people, I don't know if shout out to Glasses. I don't know if Glasses listening, but if he did, it would be like a one spin and I'm completely done. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going back to it. So I attribute there's a lot of those. I don't even think Sin is on that type of time, but Sin strikes me as I'm gonna give it a few listens and then it's toast to me. You know what I'm saying? But there are a few songs worth going back to. I got 7. We could talk about that later on down the line. But I think the songs that people really like how you watch a movie and certain scenes just hit you and you just turn on a movie just to watch those scenes. I think this is what the album's doing. Those scenes just happen to be more towards the earlier part of the album. But I think he's going to keep rocking out through. We're going to see what the numbers do for the full week. And I think it's going to be crazy.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. This is a seminal moment in Drake's career for me. I look at this situation as it's going to, this album in particular, not necessarily the other two, because I know to play with the other two and it's been conflicting information as far as is he out of his deal, is he not out of his deal, but it seems as though I think towards Sunday a lot of momentum in the conversations were surrounding the fact that this fulfills his deal and he may be independent now. Macito, I don't know if you've read the same thing. Sin, I don't know if you've read the same thing. Dini don't be on Twitter, so I don't know. Mm-hmm. So, but a lot of momentum is building up steam as far as him getting out of his deal, and I think going all the way back to when he dropped Scary Hours 3, I think Drake has been very cognizant of what the public wants and how rap has changed. Like it changed a little bit before the battle, and then post battle, we know what the world and the landscape looks like as far as what listeners of hip hop want, and I think he tried to do that with Iceman so that he can still be in that conversation. Because as much as, I threatened to toss him in the Flow Rider League and shout out to the homie Glasses, not hip hop, get him out of here. He's a pop star. Drake himself wants to be considered hip hop. He wants to be the number one guy in hip hop. And this album right here, I think he was trying to like position that as like, I can give you Iceman and I can be hip hop, but y'all can't tell me shit. This was an album's worth, metaphorically, an album's worth of responses to Kendrick Lamar and what Kendrick Lamar said he was not, as far as being like us, if you will. I don't think the music landed. But when we come to the stats, to use Kendrick Lamar as a barometer here, day one, GNX surprise album did 74 mil, 12 tracks. ICEMAN essentially doubled that with 140 mil. Day two for GNX was 60 million in comparison to ICEMAN's 70 million. Day three for GNX was 52 million in comparison to ICEMAN's 50 million. So if based on that, less songs for Kendrick Lamar, 6 less songs, but by day three, GNX is leading the race. To me, that's very telling as far as how people ingest the music. And you know what? Again, shout out Macito, that's my brother. And I understand this. He likes his album. Drake is his guy. But we do have standards and principles here, and I got to keep it a rack. When J. Cole's album dropped, and we talked about how the streaming data was playing out, that as much as J. Cole fans were yelling at us and saying how great the album was, the streaming data did not support their support, if you will. The streaming data was supporting that. In fact, they not ingesting the album, because the only thing that I'll give streaming data a blind witness as far as giving them credit, because I don't like streaming. I'm a dinosaur. That's okay. I'd rather God sell. To me, physicals is still the way for me. I think if you want to know how popular somebody is, let's see what the physicals look like. That's just my opinion. But the one thing I like about streaming is that no matter how much you tell me that you're popping, if I'm able to pull up the data and I see a rapid decline in listening, I don't care how many times you type and tell me the album is good. If every day I open my phone and it's getting less, and the thing is, it's supposed to be less. The initial influx is supposed to do well. Then it's supposed to come to a middle ground with the decline. It's supposed to level out. But if it's doing this rapidly, y'all lying to me. Y'all are lying in your tweets. You're lying in your IG posts. You're lying in your TikTok posts. You're generally lying. And based on the GNX streams, GNX went from 74 to 52 by day 3. That means that people were ingesting this album at a high rate and they were fucking with the album. If you're telling me you're going from 140 to 50, and it's not like ICEMAN is dipping, but the other two are doing well, all 3 of these shits is dipping. No one's liking the album. So there's no amount of spin you can hit me with today, I'm sorry, Makes, to support the fact that they're loving the album. People rushed it on day 1, hate listeners, lovers of ICEMAN, people in the middle, we all rushed it. And then once they heard it, they was like, ooh, I don't know. And by day 3, they was like, nah. What is day 10 gonna look like? Shit, what is day 7 gonna look like with this album? That's the real concern here. You know, so I think we got to call it what it is. Statistically, no matter how much Club Paradise tries, this album didn't land, Mace. I'm sorry, it didn't. And the listenership is saying that. What do you say to my counter to your counter?
Well, I'll say this. While analyzing statistics, you probably noticed the same thing. There was actually a jump in the 4th day. So that 52 that GNX had on his 3rd day, the number actually went up on the 4th day, if I'm correct. Right. Same thing with For All the Dogs. I don't know if there's some sort of Monday push.
On Friday. We talking about ICEMAN.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to create the line of thinking. So what I'm wondering is that today's number is very important to me, because when analyzing the numbers, I can't very much argue that, because you were the person who made the argument during For All the Dogs, like I said. So while I think it's continuing the trend that Drake has shown, that's my point majorly, right? Is that this isn't any different than 2023. So that precipitous drop within what's going on, that is the trend that his music has shown pre-battle, post-battle. The numbers are the numbers. So I'm very interested, because in that 4th day, both of those albums that I mentioned raised. So if we have another 25% drops, then I'm kind of on board with that line of thinking.
All right, fair play. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, we've gotten the so you got a point. Go ahead, Sam. My fault, bro.
Yeah. I don't want to throw Mace too much bail, right? Or OVO, or that community too much bail. But it has only been 3 days. Now these 3 days, it says a lot, right? It's a steep drop, but still, it's only been 3 days. Let's give it the week right? Before we make any like official assessments, even though the first 3 days are very telling. But to me, actually, if I'm gonna look at any streaming data, I'm gonna look at how Make Them Cry, the intro song, was the most streamed song of the album. That is more telling to me because that's telling me that people that's the one song that everybody streamed, and then after that didn't stream as much. Like if I'm asking you, Mace, or even you, Deanie, like what your favorite record on the album is, right? Are y'all gonna say the intro? Are you gonna say Make Them Cry? No, right?
No.
But somehow what ended up happening was that most people spun Make Them Cry, and a lot of them just said, you know what, I'm good on this. I don't even really want to hear the rest of the album. I'm good. This is what he's gonna be talking about again. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm sure there was a lot of that.
To be fair, though, like a lot of if that's what they're doing, I'm gonna have to be a jerk. I don't want their opinion on the album. If you heard one song and you clicked out, you can fuck out of it, honestly.
I got that, but I'm just saying I was honestly expecting, and me as not a Drake fan, I was expecting there to be some other song that people kept coming back to and repeating and rewinding. I mean, you know, we're dinosaurs. We still call it rewinding. But that didn't happen, right? Like I was expecting Whisper My Name or Janice Shut the Fuck Up.
I think by today, I think the first day it was by far the first track. The second day the Future track led, and then today, like you mentioned, Janice led. So I think Make Them Cry is still overall the total, if I'm correct. Somebody could correct me, but I believe that each day a different song led. So
okay, all right. But that's what stuck out to me in terms of the data that came in.
Fair play. Moving on. Let's get into the album itself. Justin, you guys did the live listening. That was fire. You've had some. I've watched the videos. You've had some takes. You know, some people would say, and I saw some of the comments ahead of this stream. Oh, this is the Drake haters uniting to talk about the album. But I think I can safely say for everyone, including you, that we love rap music more than any particular artist. Like if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. Hell, we've all had opinions on J. Cole, and we gave J. Cole mad listens and opportunities to change our mind. Like at the end of the day, we're trying to be fair. So through the weekend, have you gotten to a place with this album, specifically ICEMAN? We're not here to talk about a pop album or R&B album. This is the Rap Roundtable. Have you gotten to a place where you could say whether you like it the same way you did when it first came out? Has the score decreased? Or are you in a situation where are you ready to just outright move on from ICEMAN?
I've been listening to all three. And so, trying to get an idea of the HIM aspect, and then Rolling Stones, you're supposed to listen to them a certain way. But the past 2 days I've been more focused on ICEMAN. It sounds like a Drake album. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's, less fun, but I think that actually makes sense because if I was Drake in 2026, I'm not sure how much fun the past couple of years have been. I think the first track is one of the best pump fakes I've ever seen. It sets it up to be a deep, really introspective album in a way that dominates the conversation, but really don't get that. You could tell he's not happy. Even across the three albums, the number of references to him thinking about death, I think, is probably record-breaking for Drake. So you feel the weight of it. But do I need to hear him talk about white guilt? That's why people listen to Kendrick. Do I need to hear him say is it the light skin or the Jewish roots that make you not see me on the top of the list? I don't even like the idea that he's referring to black people as Nazis. I get really distracted. And then, so that brings me back to, okay, well, what is this album really about? And this is clearly a very obvious play to remain king, to maintain that reputation as king of the charts. And he has done that. Are there songs I like? I like Whisper My Name a lot. I like Make 'Em Pay a lot. I like Janice Shut the Fuck Up. I think there's a lot of catchiness in there. The first song, probably the best song on the project, either that or Make 'Em Pay, in my opinion. But the things I find most interesting are happening on the other projects. Like this one, from a rap standpoint, you could drop this at any point in time in the past decade, and it'd be like, oh, okay, cool, there's Drake. And I think that's really the missed opportunity, because outside of reaffirming the fact that he has enough superfans and enough polarizing opinions to run the numbers up from a streaming standpoint, I don't know what the takeaway is at the end of this project. And people keep telling me how great this rapping is. I guess this is his best rapping since Scorpion, but that still gives a whole half of a career that he's still not meeting. And I think Drake's overall reputation and the standards we set for him come from that first decade. And so, now we've got a guy who built an ice pyramid in Toronto, a guy who did like one of the most grandiose rollouts we've seen, and we get to the album. For me personally, it does feel like For All the Dogs. It does feel like Certified Lover Boy. It does got a lot of that, and if that's a win for Drake fans, I think that's awesome. But, I probably like more songs in the Plot Twist account. I probably like more songs from these 40 joints he's been a part of over the past year than in here. And that's not even that's just me comparing Drake to Drake.
That's the only way to compare him at this point in my assessment. Consider Rap Snob. You had a weekend with this album. I know, even though people say, and truth be told, you very hard on Drake, but you give everybody a fair listen, credit where it's due. Has your opinion changed from Friday to now? Do you like more songs? Do you like less songs? Like, where we at with it?
I'm still pretty much where I was on Friday. And to be clear, at no point did I ever say that this album's garbage or that I hate Drake that I do hate Drake or that I hate this album. In fact, I think I'm right there. We were like, before we got on the stream, Company Man and the rest of us were talking about the Rolling Stone review. And I think I'm pretty much like right there where Rolling Stone is, where they like gave it 3 stars, but like the actual review itself, the actual article talking about the album actually had more positive things to say than negative. I honestly have more positive things to say about this album than negative. It might come from the fact that, like, and here at the Rap Roundtable, we're always like light years ahead of everybody else, right? In one way or another. Like, everything that everybody's saying about Drake and his music, that there's no growth, it's repetitive, he just talks about the same things all the time, same flow, same type of production all the time. I've been saying this since probably since Scorpion, at the very least since CLB, but I think surely before that, I've been saying that. Then there's the things that people are talking about in terms of his kind of alignment with Trump and MAGA, not directly, but like in a very sort of parallel sort of way. I don't remember anybody saying that before I came on this podcast saying that, right? So I guess because I've been there already, I can get to this point and listen to this album and be like, you know what? I'm enjoying this Drake album better than the last several Drake albums that he's put out. I think the rapping is better. I think he is more invigorated and is rapping with more energy, which I would hope so after everything that he's been through in the past years. And I can appreciate that. Yeah, y'all all know, like, I'm very big on energy when delivering raps, right? We once had an argument about Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj on Motorsport. And I was like, Nicki bars, but I love the energy that Cardi came with on this record. I love delivering rhymes in a very, invigorated, energized sort of way. And I get that on this album. Not the whole album, though. It's mostly on the first half. And that is where my gripe lands again with a Drake album, is that though I did enjoy that first half more than I've enjoyed anything from Drake in at least 5 years, probably more, like 7, 8 years, right? It still ends up being the same story with a Drake album. It's like, it's got some joints. Most of them are like, front loaded up top. And then like, it just kind of dithers and wanes from there. And then it's like it's overlong. So you end up feeling that drop off in energy in the album for a longer period. You know, it's more noticeable when you have an album that's that long, 18 songs long. He's incapable of making a GNX, a nice tight 12 songs. Incapable of that, right? I know we're not talking about the other two albums, but I mean, we can't ignore the fact that he dropped 2 other projects for a total of 43 songs. So besides these 18 songs, there's these other 2 projects worth of stuff that I think is just pure dog shit. Like, so it's just, it ends up being that there's this phrase that I saw somebody mention in an article that where they parallel it to, you know, the right, Trump and MAGA, and that's flooding the zone. And that's what it feels like Drake is doing, right? More so than ever. 3 whole albums, he's flooding the zone to create, like, just to have so much stuff out there that it's just like really hard to like pick apart and really hone in on like one specific thing. And I think, you know, that's by design. But as far as the album is concerned, yeah, no, I'm the same place I was on Friday.
All right, great perspective there by Sincere Rap Song. Dini, I saved Dini and Mesita to go back to back pause because I wanted them to kind of, since they were the guys who were on this album's pretty solid side of the fence on Friday, I wanted them to actually run that same play once again. So Mesita, I'll come to you, followed by Dini. Like, Mesita, where you at with this album? I think based on our private conversations, I feel like you like this album more than you did on Friday. Am I correct or incorrect in stating that?
You be correct, Joff. You know, that was really like the Monday morning quarterback action, you know what I mean, without a chance to really analyze anything that really was going on with it, not really to get a temperature of the album. Like, I like it even more. I'm gonna be honest. I have to disagree with Justin. I think it being his best album since his prime, I think that's more. When you talk about the length of his career, I think that's more of a compliment. I feel like if Kanye put out his best album in 10 years, that would be a compliment. If I feel like that's you know, while clearly not being on the level of where he was at his peak, I think the fact that he can get to this level, I was impressed. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to give him, you know, LeBron is 41 points. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not grading him on the curve, but you know, I thought that was impressive. I think it is clear. Listen, he went about, if you want to talk about songs I liked on here, he went about 13 or 14 for 18 for me. Although I will say this, if y'all know what I like a good 13, a 12, 13, 14 song album. I feel like that is the sweet spot for an actual great album in 2026. You know what I mean? Biggie and Pac could drop 2-hour albums. I don't want to hear no 2 hours from anybody at the age I am now. So I'll tell you this, he really could have, if he'd, like Sin said, I don't know if he's capable. Actually, that was you, Justin, my fault. Or maybe it was both of y'all. He's not really capable of giving you that short, concise, you know, quick jab kind of joint. If this was 13 songs, this might have really challenged his peak as far as quality. Because like I said, I saw a couple other people say it throughout the weekend, but this is his best rap project of all time. Even if we're reading this is his song for song. There's peaks on other ones, you know, Middle of the Ocean on Her Laws, Western Road Flows on Views, but song for song, he's never rapped this well on a project, and I stand on that.
Wow.
Make Him Cry is in his holy grail of rap songs. You know what I mean? He has a candidate there. It's tough because ultimately I do think even I have to admit, I'm saying all of this listening in a linear way, right? Obviously, contextually, there's a lot of these lyrics, a lot of these themes, a lot of things that if you give it a second thought beyond a Drake fan or somebody who wants to believe this man, I can completely see where people coming from with that. But as far as the quality, I'm just here for the quality, guys. And I really, to me, the album is sounding even better today. The biggest misstep, too hard for the radio. The biggest misstep.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be the guy who acted like that song was great, but that's a misstep. If he kept that first half, that
Yeah.
could have been a damn near a hit. That could have been the
Mm-hmm.
one on the album. But once he get into, that other bag, that's the biggest misstep on this album for me. To me, he would have had a legit hit, even on some rap. He would have had a legit hit if he'd have stopped draking it up so much on Too Hard for the Radio.
The cosplay Bay.
And that's the thing, bro. Like, shout out to Macito, because it's like I see too many comments and there's people that are regulars here. Like, Mace been calling this as fair as it's gonna be from a OVO Drake guy
ever.
So if he says he liked the album, it ain't about caping. Maybe he just fuck with the album. Go ahead, sir.
Y'all gonna stop talking to any of us that way, right? Including Mace. Like, to say that he's lying, to save face, or to to prop up his boy Drake. Like,
we don't do that here.
Nobody does that here. You know what I mean? Like, the conversations that we have privately, I'm telling you, like, Mace loves this album.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'm not even like, why are y'all shocked if he's a Drake fan, an OVO head, and he's been a day one Drake. And with this album, I can absolutely see what Mace sees in this album. I can see what Mace feels from this album, right? Because I see it too. I'm not a Drake fan, so I'm like, it came back with a little energy, more so than I've heard from Drake in a long time, but it wanes by the end. But this is all like bread and butter for Mace. This is absolutely what he wanted out of Drake.
He likes, man.
Appreciate you, Sid.
So stop calling him a liar. Please stop doing
that. He was the only one who's seen 18 tracks and then take a deep sigh. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mace.
And not for nothing, bro. Before I pass it to Dini, y'all go back and watch the battle footage. When Kenny was on his head top, Macito's shoulders was literally by his ears. He was in hell while Kenny was kicking his back. And he kept showing up, bro, and giving Kenny his credit. So let that man have his. If he like Iceman, he's entitled to like an Iceman. Grow up. Yo, Dini the Balance. Where you at after this weekend on Iceman, bro?
All right. The easiest way for me to put it, what's the name of my movie, man? Boys in the Hood. Uh-oh. You know, like when Ricky got hit with the pump shotty by Money in the red whip, bow, and just laid the body down, and Ricky was toast. That's the way I thought Drake was. I thought the body was toast. You know what I'm saying? But somehow he was able to get up and still make it to the crib, and that's the way I see this. I feel like for a lot of people, especially the super Drake fans, but I feel like even more of I just listen to his music every now and then. They feel like this should have been no return. You know, there's so many artists who have been through some kind of ringer like this, and there was no comeback. So for him to come back, wipe the blood off and still keep running, I gotta respect that part. Now, is this, like I said last time on the show, is this a perfect album? Hell no. Is this a good album? We can debate it, but it's a decent joint. Like, if you fuck with Drake's music, you don't got to be a fan. I'm talking about if you just out at the bar, you get a drink, because that's what really Drake's music is. It's really just bar music to me at this point. Like, when you at a spot and it plays, it just sets the tone. And I feel like there's a few joints that do that. And in terms of the rapping, bro, like, we not gonna act like Drake is fucking Rakim. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of the lines, the puns, the quotables, I won't say all time, but this is some of his best rapping in terms of bars, bro. Say what you want, but that whole DeMar DeRozan setup was crazy. It was crazy to the point where I feel like if anybody else said it, we would be giving it the respect it deserves. The whole Kawhi, the ring, the shit, the lineup was perfect. The jab that he actually took was some of the most like focused bars we heard. We heard CLB, we heard Scorpion, a lot of hits, a lot of big records. This joint don't have as many big records, but it has like noteworthy bars, bro. Like these are some actually dope bars. We're not saying he's Nas, we're not saying he's Hove in his prime, but in terms of wit, in terms of like the way the lyrics flow too, like the way he carried the song the way through with the disses, I thought that was fire, bro. I thought Whisper My Name was dope. Janice STFU was aight. Shebang, which is not getting a lot of credit, but Shebang was dope. Say what you want to say. Make them pay. National Treasures was tough. What did I miss? The first half fight, and plot twist is starting to grow on me. I think the problem with a lot of these songs is that they're not good all the way through. So many of these songs, it's either like a minute and a half dope in the beginning, or it's a minute and a half dope in the end, which I hated, bro. Because some of the songs I would want to give him the credit for, I don't like the song to almost halfway through the song, which is like, that's an L on any record. You know what I'm saying? But we not gonna act like he wasn't doing something. He was doing what he was supposed to do. I know a lot of people saying that this is 2 years late, but you don't think this nigga eat, sleep, wake up thinking about this shit? To being at the height of your career, being the guy on the top, and the little homie bing bop boom just kicks you off the top of the mountain, and now everybody's looking at you crazy. Not just like the hip hoppers, the non-hip hoppers is looking at you crazy. The casuals, the ladies is falling from you. Like, this was a whole not even a whole 180. This is a whole reversion to back before he had the haircuts when he was a kid. It's brought him back to his old life. You know what I'm saying? I feel like with this, he's opening the doors again. We can't say he's whack. We can't say he's not lyrical with it. You know, say what you want about him with the whole he's not hip hop or nothing. But I think in terms of like musicality, these 7 songs specifically are dope. Now, in terms of it being an 18-song project, that's not a lot of songs. When you add it to the fact there's 2 other albums, it's not a lot of songs. But I based it specifically on ICEMAN because I feel like them other 2 albums ain't for me. I feel like a nigga who needs to do that shit is like a nigga like Fab. I always felt like Fab needed to do that. Fab needs to give an album for the streets, a tape for the streets, an album just to submit, and something for the ladies. I always feel like that's where Fab never went right. He always tried to combine those. If Fab did that, little tape for the ladies, little tape for the streets, little album, I feel like Fab would have. I feel like, I don't know if this is getting him out his deal either. But if this is to get out of his deal shit, this is not genius. I don't know, company man. You shaking your head. I would love to hear your opinion on it. Because I know most people don't accept multiple albums as a submission when they got you in for 3 albums. They don't just take a 3 for 1 because they can stretch that out, pause, and get as much money out of you for years if they can. So you drop an album every other year. That's 6 years of getting money out of you as opposed to just this one done, you know? But I think I can't shit on Drake musically the way I thought I was going to before the album dropped. You know, lawsuit aside, still a bozo for life for that. Musicality is not as bad as I'm hearing a lot of people in the chat say. A lot of y'all's hating, but we will catch you niggas outside. And if I see shoulders shaking, I'm running up on niggas. That's all God, bro. Because I
gotta see the Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year. I gotta see those.
Baby, see the shoulders bopping. Come on,
Sid gonna be shaking them shoulders right. He right there. You don't gotta look too far. A couple of them J's, he gonna be grooving.
Listen, I'm not even gonna hold you. When what was that song? Too Sexy. What was that? Way Too Sexy. Drake featuring Young Thug. When that came out,
that was a slapper.
I was in hell every time that song came on at any bar, at any function. I was in absolute hell. One of the most annoying songs of all time, and you're gonna sample that to make an even more annoying song. That shit was dog shit to me. I hated that song with my every molecule in my body, bro.
I feel you.
So now that I have something like Whisper My Name or Janice STFU, if that come on at the bar, I'm just
it works. It works. And where you coming from to where you going?
Listen.
I might pop out for that one.
You know,
it's gonna be a Nas fan that's gonna walk in the room. Singer have his cover just freeze like it's gonna be like.
Chill, I gotta go to the bathroom, y'all. Hold on, hold me down.
Hey, man, but you know, I think I feel the same way I felt on Friday. I think, in fact, I wanted to like it more. You know, I really wanted to because I almost think he tried. But I have so much conflict with this album because there's a lot of contradictions. There's a lot of hypocrisy throughout this album that I struggle with as well. And shout out to the homie Frazier. He spoke to that in the article he wrote in GQ as well. And that level of contradiction, I think sometimes defeat brings out the best in you, and sometimes defeat kind of packs you out. And I look at Drake and I'm like, I think this Kendrick, it's not even about the lyrics. It's just the idea of losing. He can't process it. and is harming his music because he want to get back to the vibes. He want to party, but he's also in the mirror. It's almost like he lost. You know how you had your girlfriend and you had an argument and you know you was dead right, but you lost the argument. So now you're relitigating the argument and you're talking about everything you could have said in the midst of the argument, post-argument, now while you sleeping on the couch. That's how I feel about Drake and his Kendrick thing. Like, he's rapping all of the things he wanted to say in the midst of the battle 2 years later. But in the midst of doing that and saying certain things about he don't got this, he don't got that, I don't know the lyrics to his songs, this and that. But then he's actually responding to the lyrics of the song. And it's just like, bro, like, you all over the place with this shit. It's like, who do you want to be, Aubrey? Do you want to be real rapper guy that feels like you got shorted by the industry? You know what I mean? Do you want to be the pop guy? Do you want to make R&B? That's why I said on Friday, I'm not sure if he wants to rap anymore. Because to me, even if the songs didn't slap, let's be clear. Habibti and Maid of Honor, I heard more energy, if you will, more want to in the songs than I heard in the rapping on ICEMAN, if that makes sense. And that's something I spoke about with Macito. I was coming home from work Friday, and I sent them a couple of old Drake joints, and I'm like, where's this energy at? Like, I'm talking about the way he's rapping. Like, there's no fire in the bars. Like, all right, cool. The lyrics are there, and some people, huh?
I see what you're saying. No, I see what you're saying. You lost me for a second, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Like, I hear more energy and want to in the albums that are not rap than the actual rap albums. Like, the monotone voice, the same flow on every track, almost. Well, not every track. Let me not be that guy. Let me not speak in hyperbole. In like 65% of the tracks, it's the same flow, the same pocket, the same monotone. If I go back to 2016 Drake, 2018 Drake, 2014 Drake, I hear fire. You lost to this guy, but you're mumbling damn near to him. Meanwhile, if Kenny ever decided to come back outside, Kenny is one of the most dynamic artists ever because he has so much going on outside of the lyrics. It's not just the bars. It's the energy. It's the fire. It's the multiple voices that some niggas don't like. You know what I mean? And I'm hearing this guy, and I talked about that on Friday. It's like, all right, cool, bro. Are you mad? Are you happy? Are you just whining? And as a man, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want to hear another man whining on a rap album for 18 tracks. The song titles themselves. Have you ever seen the movie Gone Girl? The song titles read like the shit she was saying when she was narrating in the movie Gone Girl. Make them cry. Whisper my name. Make them pay. Bees on the table. What did I miss? Make them remember. What the fuck are you talking to, Aubrey?
Sure. It's really funny that you say that because it hit me this morning. I feel like Drake journals a lot.
Yes.
And a lot of the songs are just him reading his journaling. And he just puts he puts what he writes to a beat. Right? Especially like the singing like R&B instruments. Like I hear it like because if you read what was that? The Fort Worth?
He's
it's like it's sad, like he's talking about the AC is broken and we're out of sodas and it's so hot. I'm about to walk to the store. Like it sounds like he's just like jotting shit, like what's happening in the moment in his journal. And then like, I don't know, later when he's in the studio, he's like, I don't know what song to make. Let me just read my journal and shit.
My thing is,
throw
like,
a beat on.
The situation is that he's so upset and he doesn't know how to really properly channel his anger in a way that he feels will make him look the best. And I've been saying it the entire time. You lost this guy over here that you've been competing with for the last 10 years on wax with darts thrown back and forth with each other. He told you he hated everything about you, called you a clown, gave you a lyrical wedgie, and called you a PDF and kicked you out the crib, right? If I got disrespected like that on wax, I'm throwing every Frank imaginable. I'm violating. I'm not suing. I'm not doing none of that. I'm dissing him again. If you want to be Jay-Z, take the Jay-Z playbook of how he kept dissing Nas until they made up, bro. You know what I mean? That's how you handle this shit. Like these diary bars and this whiny shit. It's like, bro, all right, boom. Yeah, but the disses are good. That's what the Drake fans are saying. Like I said again on Friday, if I'm reading the lyrics, it reads well. But when I'm hearing you whine on the track, bro, I don't want that. I do not want that. I don't want that from a guy trying to prove something because he clearly, no matter what Drake fans say, he had a point to prove in this album. And if the point to prove is you can whine better than another nigga rapping, I can, nigga, keep it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like these, and I don't got nothing against people who write. Maybe some people can't communicate well and they can't. You know what I mean? They write in a diary, they journal things, but. This album reads like a nigga who can't even defend himself verbally. He can't argue in person. He gotta send you a text message. Like this passive energy. I'm so off of it now. You know what I mean? Like listening to this shit, the way he's talking about it. It's like if Kenny just come out right now and he just call you a bitch, you would have looked for it. If he gets out on wax and calls you an outright bitch on wax, would he not have looked for that? Because the way he treated the process with this joint, matter of fact, everybody he didn't diss with no type of vigor. It was complete sass. It was a sass. It was an expose in sass for 18 consecutive tracks. I don't give a fuck about none of these disses because they're all sassy. No man is going to take these disses seriously.
I think the fact that they're 2 years later is a big part of that. He shouldn't have bothered because again, by comparison, 2 years after Ether versus Takeover was the Blackout, and by that time Jay had already wiped his hands. He's washed his hands of the whole thing. There's no bar on the Black Album that alludes to any battle that came 2 years before that. You know what I mean? Maybe Blueprint 2 had joints on his, especially the title track, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where, and that's the thing. Jay was able to get everything off his chest on that one song, the Blueprint 2. This is how I feel post-battle. You know what I mean? And then, depending on who you ask, Jar might have different thoughts. To me, he sounded a little whiny on that joint, but we're not going to get into that conversation.
For sure. But and he's not as hard as me as the ROC nigga. Yeah, he was whining. I was there.
A little bit. You know what I mean? But he got everything off his chest, that one song for the rest of the album, and then Black Album after that, it was back to business as usual, making hits, making timeless records, making anthems. Like, that's where his focus went after that. And you're going to tell me that you are going to, or this generation is going to compare Drake to Jay-Z when 2 years after the battle heard around the world, this motherfucker is going to come back and make a whole post-battle rebuttal 2 years later, 18 tracks of this is what I should have said, 18 tracks of the shrimp store. You know what I mean? Deanie gets that bar. Like, come on, man. 2 years later, no, don't ever compare him to Hove ever again, bro.
Damn, sent off the top rope.
And then the content has internet chatter that's not even proven, tinfoil theories in raps. Like, brother. But you know what? He got a couple of joints that I do like, though. That being said, I could kick us back in, but Dust my favorite joint off of here. Whisper My Name. Yeah, I love that. Janice Shut the Fuck Up was a top 5 song title of all time. I hate that I don't like the song as much as the song title. You know what I mean? Heat. Future's part of Run to Atlanta. Heat. You know what I mean? So I guess, Company Man, I come to you and I ask this question. Like, part of Drake's staple in his career is he'll have albums that are relatively bloated, and he'll have a couple of slaps or maybe 3 or 4 slaps that carry the project, and it allows Drake fans like Mace to say that if it was a classic or not. Does this album or any of the 3 albums have songs that, as much as we might not like the volume, does he have a couple of songs you think that might be able to ride through the summer and change how the way people view Iceman or the Him Pack, as we'll call it?
I don't think I heard anything particular on Iceman. I think that there's some things on Habibti and Maid of Honor that might creep into the zeitgeist this summer. Just given one's a dance album, So I think that's the case. It's funny because we're in this era where all the attention's on the first week, maybe the second week. And the first week and the second week are going to look insane for Drake. It's going to look like the biggest ever. And the real question is, how many of these have staying power? And which one, or what did I miss, for example? It was a top 10 song. You know what I mean? Like, that was a top 10 track most of the summer last year. Top 10, top 20. So it already has stuff that stood up. I don't hear anything personally that's as strong as Nokia. Nokia, first time I heard Nokia, I was like, oh, this shit's dope. This shit's out of here. You know what I mean? Like that to me really hit where the zeitgeist was at that point in time, right? Janice, Shut the Fuck Up, the Future song, Whisper My Name, I think is going to have a surprise impact, you know, if they actually put money behind it. But then it's also the power of just celebrity and his community too, right? That's another thing I see here when people are questioning why he spent so much time dissing. Well, he's not only out here making music for people to enjoy, but he represents his community. He represents his fan base. And his fan base has been telling us none of the other stuff counted, right? All the disses on the plot twist stuff, that didn't count. That wasn't real. All the disses that were on Some Sexy Songs for You, that didn't count. That wasn't real, right? So this one is the one they've been saying counts and is real. And so in that sense, he has to do this, right? And I'm not even saying it's a bad idea for him to do it because majority of the people that we include in this battle of all these different artists, everybody except for Kendrick, in my opinion, has like, Drake has a really good point. Like, I do want him to talk about J. Cole, because that was messed up what J. Cole did. Like, the way he said that, it's like, yeah, we engaged. And then all of a sudden, now you're not even answering my text. Yeah, I think he deserves to get that off. You know what I'm saying? I actually think, I would love to see that battle. I would love to see Drake-J. Cole battle. You know, but we know J. Cole. But J. Cole told us in the interview with 7 p.m. in Brooklyn that he's just playing dress up. So I don't think that's actually.
I don't want smoke.
Yeah, that's what he said. You know, and I think that make them pay when he's talking about DJ Khaled, right? The DJ Khaled one was really interesting to me because you could tell that one is super personal. He is 100% sad that his homie Khaled didn't stick up for him. Now, Khaled's in a tough spot. You know, he clearly would have been friends with Ross before he was friends with Drake. You know, but Khaled also didn't say anything publicly. Khaled did his best not to antagonize one way or the other. But Drake is the one, as Rick Ross said in the conversation on Joe and Jada, Khaled was the glue that held all that together. And so if I'm Drake, I'm really upset. I definitely want to get that off.
But
you know
what
what I mean?
about fighting your own battles, though? Like, Drake is doing all this whining, but sometimes in life, nobody's going to vouch for you. You got to go scrap yourself.
Well, I mean, I guess that is a conditional thing that depends on who we're talking about. Who do you need and who do you don't need, right? The funniest thing about this Ran to Atlanta with Future is Drake has a line on there where he says, y'all niggas stand 10 toes on quicksand. And I'm like, this motherfucker you doing the song with made a double dissing you. Are you dissing him now? Are you talking about yourself? Like, the cognitive dissonance of the conversations that he's having, it leaves me in a tailspin, which is why my impression of the album is so low. Right? If I just take out what the words he's using mean and think about how he's delivering them and maybe over the beats he's selecting and some of the hooks he's using, it sounds fine. But if I try to follow the logic that he is using over the course of this album, he's a survivor of a corporate hit survivor. That's not what the legal filings read. The legal files did not read like you're a corporate hit survivor. Right, and I don't think Judge Jeanette Vargas in Queens, she didn't seem to look at you that way either. And those are the only things that we have on record.
Whoa.
My point is, these are things that people say to make sure that their audience still engages. One thing I like about this Flood the Zone conversation that Sincere was talking about was, before that New York Times article came out, that's what I tweeted when I saw 43 songs. Oh, he's flooding the zone, right? Like night one, that's the only thing I tweeted was, oh, he's about to flood the zone. Because Drake is also really amazing at maximizing the interconnectivity of an era. And he is a meme god, a meme pioneer. He's been shooting videos that he knew would turn into a separate online conversation away from the song itself, way before most people were even thinking about that strategically. And this is one of those situations where there is so much going on, right? The two threads that I see run through these three projects is Drake is still sad. He is sad. He hasn't come to grips with all the stuff he's experienced, but he's trying to, but he's not there yet, and he's very upset. And that thread runs across all three albums regardless. And within that, you've got a laundry list of people he's dissing that you can talk about. Within that, you've got stuff that's going to piss off people politically. You know, is the conversation between the Khaled and when he dissed Khaled on that song, that shit got picked up heavy in Middle East news. It got picked up heavy in Jewish news, right? Because you have probably the most successful Jewish rapper on the planet, and arguably the most successful Palestinian DJ on the planet. And one of them calls the other out for what they're not doing for their community. And then a lot of people on the Israeli side look at Drake the same way, because Drake didn't say anything about October 7th. You know what I'm saying? So like, this is a geopolitical debate that's taking place on a Drake album. Something I never thought I'd see. Never thought I'd see that ever, right? And so there's a lot of unintentional things I think that are happening, but I also find them all to be very intentional, because that's what happens when you drop 43 songs and you've got so many people looking at you to see what you're going to say about all the stuff we just watched happen over the past couple of years. And so, you know, the success of this, I think more than anything else, lives in the strength of the songs. And we'll see what that ends up being. Maybe he's got a number one in here, but we're talking about a guy who's defined himself by being on top, someone who's defined himself by sales. And so the way he's flooding the zone by putting all these things and everything makes people have to keep listening to find other things, and in return, he still gets additional streams. But I don't hear anything as strong as Nokia. I don't hear anything as strong as Circadian Rhythm.
I just feel like, you know, to your point about him and some of his attacks at Khaled, you're not, and I hate to be the guy to over criticize individuals, but it's just like, yeah, you're getting into the political commentary, but you're doing it to play gotcha with a DJ who doesn't even actually DJ for real. So it's like, I hear what you're saying and I understand the sentiment, but it's like you.
Well, no, let me clarify. Let me cut you off. I want to clarify this. I'm not talking about whether his intentions are noble.
No, for sure.
I'm taking that out completely. Because if you think about this on the macro level, we're inside baseball. We care. Everybody in this chat cares enough to listen to us talk about what we're seeing with these artists. Right. People in the music industry care. But after a song comes out, it's just flying around the world. And the average person, people didn't know what Not Like Us was about at first. You could watch Google Trends and go see when Not Like Us really peaks in conversation. It wasn't night one. People were catching up to what they were talking about. That's going to happen with this album. And from a background standpoint, you got the biggest rapper in the world saying "Free Palestine." You know, that's going to cross the cipher.
Yeah.
Now, it's clearly a shot at Khaled, but that's a shot he didn't have to take.
I guess. I feel like I'm a big person of intent, you know, intentionality and what you're doing it for. You know what I mean? Because that's why I asked Mace. I wish Mace was here. Like, I was like, how Jewish quote was he in the raps prior to this situation? Because now you mentioning things that you weren't heavy on lyrically prior to. But Drake, Mace, he said that in passing, he mentioned it a few times. But like, you know, I just feel like everything just seems to be well timed, well positioned. Like he's making soundbite raps. You know what I mean? As opposed to lyrics. Like he's saying things that's going to catch people's ears. They're like, see, he said it right here. As opposed to it being something tangible and real for us to really like get into and seriously discuss. But back to the conversation.
But that's not.
He's kind of been doing that for like a long time.
I really want to impress upon people what I'm saying here. I'm not talking about us talking about this. I'm talking about people in the Middle East are talking about this. People in Israel are talking about this.
International
right?
shit.
And that is a different thing. Like that doesn't happen on a Drake album. Period. Like the closest this ever came to this was on Charged Up when he said, "Cops out here shooting people with their arms up, and you want to harm us." Talking at Meek Mill. That's why I don't give him that much credit. Right? He has a history of weaponizing himself when he can. We saw him try to do this with Not Like Us and call it anti-Semitic and illegal filings. We saw this in 2018 at the casino in BC when he said that they were profiling me. We watched him do it in the Meek Mill battle. He's clearly doing it here. He will weaponize certain things when he can.
But I want to be clear that I'm not disputing what you're saying. What I'm saying is that I hate that the conversations are being had based on his lyrics, and I don't think he's the right source for that type of conversation, is my point. Like, it doesn't matter what I feel in the grand scheme of things. I want to make that clear. But it being him and considering the purpose behind it, I just hate that shit, is my point. You know what I me?
Too bad Mace ain't here. We could ask Mace. Too bad Mace ain't here. We could ask him how he feels about his boy doing that kind of stuff. I think that's a lot of people's problem with Drake. I think that's another reason why people are. This to me, what Drake just did is his best to get back at all of his fans, and then putting the R&B album and the dance album after the R&B album he had with Party Next Door. He really cares about women right now. That's what we know. He care about women.
Because he lost the men. Well, a good percentage of men, not all of them. But
I think he lost the women. I think he lost the women.
He lost. It really turned to like 75-25.
Here's the thing,
music, bro.
Okay.
I think he's more concerned with getting the women back than the men. Is what I think.
Well, if you drop BBC and Maid of Honor on the same day, it's clear. Because you look at it, Gina Views, shout out Gina Views. The night the album dropped, she's on Twitter talking about them records. She's not talking about the rap songs. So it's clear. I mean, everything is strategic, you know, and I understand the play. Like, I want to make a shit because it's like we live in an era now where, like, anytime we get too hypercritical about a certain guy, we're labeled haters. So I want to make sure that we're clear that I understand the entire play when it comes to Drake. I know why he dropped 3 albums. I understand what he's chasing. I also hate the fact that he understands that a lot of his favorites, a lot of his fans are people who are surface level. So if he throws a couple of things at them, they don't got to think too much. They eat it up, and then they get to argue with people like us who overthink this shit. And it becomes a very annoying back and forth situation. So I understand that he knows his base. He's very strategic. But when I hear the raps and I hear all the conflict, it's like, how can the guy who's been known to be this strategic be so contradictory on an album? You know? And it's just like, it's very interesting. It's like, did you make this album because you had to? Do you really love rap? Where is the attention to detail? I don't think he want to rap no more. I think he want to just make poppy songs, be rich, make him dance and stay out the way. I think he's rapping because he feels like he has to. But I believe that he just need to, you know.
I think that's the strategy. That's the strategy, though.
Yeah, Just.
I mean, talk too much. I didn't mean to say too many things. I just
like
that.
I was gonna say that the things that y'all are identifying and the things that y'all are saying about it is not untrue, right? But I feel like, Jaws, you made a big point of the story of it all. I find that fascinating. I find it fascinating that somebody who's been so assured of themselves, seemingly for their entire career, we can analyze a new album and be like, well, what about this? What about that? And I'd argue that this is the conflict album, right? So what we're asking, the jams, the bops, the Drake, to get to that destination, we need this. I think there's a strong segment of his fan base, and you gotta please the fan base, who would not have respected him if he came out in the album and it didn't mention anything about anybody. Now, battle rap bars about people you suing, I'm not necessarily meaning that, right? But the things like you said, Justin, contextually, what happened with this battle? What happened with J. Cole? You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about Ross right now? You know what I mean? What's going on with you? I feel like those type of lyrics were in here, and I feel like an album full of, you know, self-doubt, an album full of, you know, somebody who seemingly seems like something's going on with them. I feel like that even adds more to the story, right? I think this is a more interesting Monday analyzing that album than if he just put out the generic, these are the bops, here's the Afro beats, here's the, you know, he put that out for the other fan base.
All right, so let me.
Yeah, but he didn't. But he put way too much on this one. We did, like, generally speaking, this ICEMAN album is held up by 9 to 10 songs, most likely less. Now, maybe it's shifting, but we know that Janice, we know the Future joint, we know the first song, we know Make 'Em Pay. You know what I mean? There's a handful of songs. What I miss is already out there in the world.
Yeah.
About 10 songs. You didn't need the other 8. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that is where it feels like a regular Drake album.
My thing is this, and I want to just, you know, I hate to veer into the political sphere. I try to stay out of that, but I don't want no rapper that's gonna remind me of 47 when I'm listening to the raps. And there's too much 47 energy with this kid, bro. And it's not just about putting pen to paper. It's about the purpose behind it, the contradictions, the misinformation, blatantly lying to motherfuckers. It's 47 energy, and it's whack to me. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you're gonna tell me, just listen to the music, just forget all the other shit. We don't treat no rap elite like just listen to the music. So I'm not gonna do that here. I can't.
Right, and that's one of the things that bothers me about, like, the whole. You don't treat all rappers this way. You don't examine every single rapper under the same microscope. You're right. I don't. You know what I mean? I'm not going to examine Rock Marciano under the same microscope as Drake because this is Drake. This is arguably the biggest rap star ever. Definitely the biggest star in rap that we've had for the past 15 years. You know what I mean? Huge pop star. That when we start talking about greatness and we start talking about big threes and we start talking about totem poles, Mace, we have to talk about these people within that context, right? And we have to discuss them and examine their lyrics, their intentions, everything about them, right? Because that's the position that they've taken. And so, like when we go into discussing, Drake lyrics and him, with the Nazi word flip, right? That bar when he's talking about Aiden Ross, when he's talking about, a bunch of other things that are aligned with a certain, side of
oppression,
of oppression, right? And of governance, right? Then we're gonna look at it through that lens. We have to. We'd be irresponsible if we did.
My man sat there and created another Manosphere victimhood rap album. And and there's a lot of artists over there. Like a Tom McDonald feature would be on brand. And I'm not saying that as a diss. I'm saying that I listen to what Tom McDonald raps about, and I listen to what Drake now raps about. And Drake now raps about how people don't want to see him on top because of his light skin and his Jewish heritage.
That was the other
and now they want to not see. Well, who are these people that don't like him because he's light skinned and Jewish? Okay, who's these people don't like because he's light skinned? Okay, so who is the Nazi people he talking about? Is he calling black people Nazis?
Yes. How is that your flip on Not Like Us? That's the angle you taking?
Well, it makes sense. It makes sense. He told us he told us he thinks Homeboy raps like he's trying to get the slaves free.
The reverse racism card is crazy right now.
Meanwhile, you're surrounded by black guys in all these videos. So what's the play here?
Well, the play is
you're surrounded by whites in your video. They all look like me.
Well, they're all in the same organization, so that's the play, right? I mean, Kick, Happy Dad, Steak, these guys got thanked at Trump's inauguration. So even if you want to make an argument that he might not support them politically, those people supported the administration politically to support where they got thanked on stage. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to turn this into something that's not. This is where the bars have led us.
And this is thank you, company man, because it's like because we're filibustering a bit, all right, you know what I mean? But even if he doesn't literally mean what he's saying, the fact that he's even putting it in the atmosphere is irresponsible. And if you can't compute that, then you're the dumbass he's making the music for. I'm sorry. I apologize. We was talking about what songs are going to resonate, and we ended up here. You know
this is what he's saying on the album, though. Like this to me, this is one thing. The reason why y'all so dope, though, is because, like, genuinely speaking, we're now anybody who is contextualizing what's happening in hip hop within the music, within rap music, what's happening in rap music within the bars. People need to be prepared to either ignore this conversation that has been creeping loud over the past 15 years, past 10 years, or to address it. And as much as we want to ignore Tom McDonald or whoever, that's very easy to ignore. When it's coming from Drake, when it's coming from Ye, it's a different kind of thing. It's hard to ignore that. To have a conversation about these two artists right now, let's use Drake. You can't talk about Hell's Angels. You can't talk about the Steak Happy Dad Kick associations. You can't talk about him whipping and chaining American slaves. You can't think about the fact that he talks about nothing that actually addresses any issues within black communities in Canada, America, the diaspora. You have to ignore that. Now you have to ignore bars like, oh, you make music so white kids can feel guilty. Well, that's a great replacement theory idea right there. You have to ignore this Nazi bar. How much stuff do we have to ignore in order for, and in my opinion, for a segment of Drake fans to feel comfortable not associating their favorite artists with someone who looks like he's supporting the people who are now ushering in the return of the Confederacy.
And again, before you say no, he's
For the
not.
record,
Listen to the
Drake
lyrics.
has
It's
always
all there.
denounced. For the record, Drake publicly has always denounced Donald Trump. Just for the record.
Did he do it this week? Because I see a lot of ICEMAN advertisement coming from the White House.
My man just dropped a video today. Go ahead, man.
That White House account has a lot on. Did you guys scroll past that video and see who else they were using?
See, you trying. You know I don't try to get political, bro. Though. No, I don't.
We're not talking about none of them other people.
No.
What's that?
This is no. Because Mason sounded like a child when he's asking his parents to go out late at night. They're like, no. It's like, oh, but all my other friends are going. Are all your other friends live under this house? Right? No. We're having a conversation about you, and we're having a conversation about Drake. Let's stay on topic.
Right, but so you're asking me how did I feel that they used a Drake TikTok today? Is that the question?
Well, no, the album's called ICEMAN. The question is, why ICEMAN? Are we surprised that an album called ICEMAN is being promoted by the guy in the White House who has ice outside like SS soldiers putting people in concentration camps? Are we surprised that there's a one-to-one correlation between these two things?
I didn't know the White House had a TikTok account using rap, so yes, I am surprised. Yeah.
Okay.
Damn. And also, we're also talking about like, are we holding our breath for Drake to come out publicly and denounce that and hit him with the cease and desist, same way he did French Montana?
My thing is going back to that's what I'm talking about on this project, the attention to detail. You know what I mean? The quality control. You could diss MAGA on the album, right? You know what I mean? But then your actions don't line up, or some of your bars don't line up, but you dissing MAGA. That's what I'm talking about, quality control and attention to detail. You can't tell me to just focus on the tunes when you're giving me a body of work that's supposed to be thematic, considering that each quarter of the album there's a Make Them song. You got enough wherewithal to consider that shit, but you're not doing the quality control to make sure that your messaging matches up with what your beliefs are. That's a problem for me, and I can't shake that. Especially in this climate where misinformation reigns supreme and people don't read articles, they don't do the knowledge, they see a headline and they run with it. I talk about it all the time. When your voice is very loud, you got to make sure that everything you say lines up, because you have a lot of cachet in what your words mean to other individuals. So if you're sending me mixed messages politically, granted he is Canadian, and maybe American politics don't mean that much to him, who knows? But your messaging, once it gets out to the public, considering your main consumers are Americans, it has to make sense. It has to be aligned. And quite frankly, on this album, it don't align. Much like everything else about this album. There is no alignment here. It is one ball of an hour and 9 minutes, 69 minutes, giggity, of contradiction.
Really, think about that white guilt bar where he says, white kids listen to you because they feel guilty and it makes you feel bad. However he said it, right? The other side of that is white kids listen to me because they don't feel guilty. Right, that thought process would be the other side of that, and that might make sense as to why Drake is so narrow in the things he's willing to talk about over the course of his career. And I'm not even saying that as a slight, but if you look at the majority of people put in these GOAT conversations, the ones that come up here that we talk about on Rap Roundtable or on the Culture United or whatever, the majority of these artists have to some degree been willing to touch on some uncomfortable conversations at some point in time. Even Ludacris won an award for runaway love. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone's willing to get over there to some degree, right? To me, the coolest moment on any of these albums that came out is the song Princess at the end of Maid of Honor. And it's not even necessarily the quality of the song, but that is a whole party album. Like, that album is doing all kinds of drugs, they outside tweaking, whatever it is, right? And then at the end, sounds like homegirl OD'd in the bathroom. Like, that is like a level of emotional depth to a degree that I'm not necessarily used to Drake outside of, the emotions he has for something he's experienced one-to-one, right? These are things that are happening on the album. Now, if I'm supposed to ignore the fact that the biggest people who, especially Drake fans, people tell me he's the biggest artist in the world. If I'm supposed to ignore the fact that he is echoing so many things that we're seeing in the world around us, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
And that's my point about the other two projects. A lot more cohesive, a lot tighter. Even if the songs don't land, it felt like there was a lot more love in them two other projects than the rap album, and it's shining through to me, of course. But shout out to Ohio Play. Keep saying your thumbnail. You're talking about the music. You want us to say this song slaps and this song doesn't slap, nigga. The whole conversation is about the music.
These are things he said. He said these things. Did you not hear these things, or you just don't want to talk about these things because they make you uncomfortable?
Drake in the chat crazy, so I get it. They've been vouching for Drake crazy.
You know what? They matter of fact,
probably.
I think it's gonna carry. Since let's talk about the music, Ohio players. I think on Habibti, I'm Spent, the Low Shimmy got some legs. I like that record. I think that might be a song that'll make people forget about his contradictory raps at some point this summer.
You don't have to think about him using Nazi bars to describe black people.
Right. Is that okay, Ohio player? Do you like that? Is that cool?
I like Classic. Classic is a great song. That's probably my favorite.
What are the songs you think that from all three projects? Without what I mean, is there songs that are gonna carry enough throughout the summer that can make us necessarily forget, or at least make us view these bodies of work in a more friendlier light?
Can I be honest with y'all? And this would shock me about.
If you're lying now, I would be very disappointed.
This would shock me about. I didn't even listen to Habibti and Maid of Honor yet.
What?
Wow.
I haven't even yet.
Wow,
I'm good with ICEMAN, bro. Like, I would be honest with you.
I respect that. I respect that though.
You know what I mean?
I went past them. I skimmed them, right? Like, if they were rap projects or any rap on there, then I probably would have explored them. But once I realized exactly what they were, this ain't a shot at nobody. This is more of what I see on my timeline. People who clearly hate Drake as an artist decided I'm gonna listen to 43 Drake songs this weekend.
Psycho.
This is why I'm like, y'all wonder why he run up the numbers. It's because y'all listen to him whether y'all like him or not. But as a Drake fan, I know I was waiting on ICEMAN, the rap album. I'm not in the mood. I listened to Sexy Songs for You all last year. Sin saw the Apple replay. I was my most listened to album last year. I'm not in the mood for R&B Drake or pop Drake. So, not for the podcasters, the music reviewers, that's understandable. But for everybody who just was like,
Mace, you're a podcaster too, bro.
Listen, but not a pop rap. You know what I mean? Not an R&B podcast. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like
a popcaster.
I didn't feel a need like when those vibes come during the summer, like when it gets hotter outside. But I was primed for rap and for bars for so that's why I really feel like it was a great idea for him to split up the albums. I'm like, thank you, bro, thank you. So I haven't even listened to the two joints. I know I listened to, like you mentioned, a Low Shimmy joint. I did listen to that. I tried to listen to one of the Sexy Red joints, and I listened to the Stunner Sandy because I wanted to know what the hell was going on there as well. But so on those, I really honestly I can't even tell you right now what are the joints. I'm still enjoying I'm still enjoying ICEMAN. I think clearly on those the Future record is gonna go.
Yeah.
I think we it's gonna be a hit. Janice is going to be another, that's going to be another joint you hear often. I think if a smart DJ does that radio mix of Too Hard for the Radio and just cuts out that second part, I think you're going to end up hearing a lot of that this summer too, to be honest with you. But those are the joints that I feel like are going to be like, we're going to be hearing them for the next few weeks, next couple months. Those are going to be the ones that we hear most often.
All right, and Dini, to you, like, what do you think is going to, resonate? Or did I ask you already? Did I ask you that already?
No, you didn't. The joint with Shimmy definitely going to. NBA, I think NBA is going to do a lot for the streets. When I mean the streets, I mean the ladies in this term. And the joint, classic. I think those will be the ones that like really resonate. I think WNBA might be an anthem for the WNBA. I wouldn't be surprised if the lady just take to that and just start playing that on some, just because it resonates. Drake is like the master of doing shit that resonates with other bases in order to get more spins, even if the resonation is I hate this nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it's just what he does.
Hey man, shout out to my pops. He sent me a text message today, like I'm gonna send y'all some ICEMAN merch because I guess he tapped into the reaction. So we some Drake haters now.
Wow.
I told him send it all. I told him send it all to Mace. Mace
There we go. What up,
all
Bob
that,
John, what up?
all of that.
OVO
But,
Pops, man.
hey man, he was caping for Cole too. Like, just to throw that out there as well.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Listen, we all have our
Nevertheless,
bad days.
Macito sweating over there. I ain't never seen you wipe sweat off your brow on this pod,
Nah,
bro.
you
What's going
seen I
on?
switched the building spots. They sent me to the spot with no AC, bro. I'm dying here,
Word.
bro.
Oh man,
For the love of pod.
I was frosty when it started. I had the jacket on. I was ice
I mean, the
man.
heat
Now
done
Ice
melted. The heat
Man.
done melted you, bro.
the ice has melted, bro.
Hey man, much like that album.
Interrogation light.
You know what I mean? Everybody hit the like button, hit the subscribe option, hit the notification bell, hit the like. Stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. We got about 1,300, I think, or 1,200 in here right now watching.
Ooh.
Everybody, stop what you're doing. Whether you hate us or you like us, hit the like button. You know what I mean? On the reaction, the Drake fans popped out. We have 47 dislikes on the reaction. That's the most dislikes we've ever had, bro. All the way out. So to counterbalance the Drake fans who are smashing the dislike, everyone who in here right now, hit that like button. Run it up. 1,175 last time I checked. Hit the like button on Twitter. Do the same. Log into all things. Rap Roundtable. Follow us everywhere. Subscribe. Do the necessary things to stay in contact with us. Real quick before we get up out of here, we gotta talk about Rose.
Are we switching gears?
What do you mean?
No, I never gave my songs.
I thought you did.
Nah.
I need to hear this actually. Please do.
Bro, just real quick.
What you guys saying?
Earlier when I was talking about being at the bar and one of the Drake songs from this album comes on and I'm gonna start shaking my shoulders, I absolutely had Janet Shut the Fuck Up in mind. Like if that shit come on at the function, forget about it, man.
Cyclops, you talking that talk?
Runaway. I'm surprised y'all hit during the reaction. Y'all said that this was y'all least favorite Drake and Future collab. I actually like Runaway Atlanta. And obviously, it's going.
We like it. We just saying it's the worst collab. We like it, but it's the worst.
They have a high bar.
Copy. I mean, way too sexy. Way too sexy exists, but okay.
You're tripping. Way too sexy. Goals. You're a bug.
In the right venue, Sin. You got to be in the right venue, dogs.
Yeah, no, I'm sticking with those two right there, Janice and Random Atlanta. As far as the other albums go, I mean, I guess if I had to pick one, what's the joint with Sexy Red on Maid of Honor?
I hate every Drake collab. Sound of Sexy Red just grates my ears.
Of course, but if I'm thinking like what's going to go in at the spots,
what the streets want to hear,
I think this one goes. Amazing Shape with Popcorn. I mean, it's pretty generic.
Popcorn, Regin.
Oh, I heard that too. You're right.
It's pretty generic, but I mean, that I could absolutely do that.
Will it work though? That's what
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Will it work?
I'm gonna tell you as the resident Caribbean guy here alongside Dini to balance my other Caribbean brethren. The sound of dancehall has changed. If that was like 5 years ago, it would have went. Right now, the vibes are totally different. I don't know how that might go crazy for the white people at the resorts more so than the actual West Indian shape.
And going on that Blue Mountain tour, right?
You know what I mean? Go get you some of the coffee. You know what I mean? And the rum.
Express package.
I didn't like Habibti. I could see Gen 5 though. I kind of like Gen 5.
I can see
as far as that goes.
Yeah. Ironically, Run to Atlanta, the worst part of that song to me is Drake's part. Like the song picks up when Future get on, and then shortly right after Future gets on. I think the song gets to another
Molly
level.
Santana.
You know what I mean? TB in the building. We love you, TB. You know what I mean? 100 piece from TB off the top rope. Shout out. You know what I mean?
Just
TB got that refund and just gave it right back to the guys. You heard?
Yeah. Salute.
That's love. That's love.
Hey man, but let's switch gears. Let's get into this Rose topic before we get up out of here, man. Because we got to talk about it. It's hilarious. I'm gonna play the clips for the people who might be living under a rock. You know what I mean? And let's get into that real quick. Let me make sure I got the right clip first. Yeah. So this is the first clip. He's mad at Rory and Maul, and somehow Biggs caught a stray.
Rory and Mally. I see why Joe Buttons fired you losers. You niggas wanted equity. How dare you minions? Everybody log into Joe Buttons. Now Rory and Mally, and let Biggs Burt know the boss waiting for him to come kiss the ring. Minions. Niggas losers. Biggs' brother was Biggs' brother sucking on the dicks of his Biggs' brother. What's they name, Rory Maul? This what I'ma do. I wanna talk about Biggs Burt. That nigga, what, he ain't pay his taxes? How he went broke? What he was doing? He got caught with 20 bags of weed, some shit like that. They say he ain't had none of the royalties, none of the business, none of the money. Man, I'll make Dame go in on y'all niggas. You glazers, dick sucking little peons. Biggs' brother was Biggs' brother sucking all the dicks at her. That's how hustlers and street niggas do it, man. Nigga gonna target those niggas. Not the niggas who ain't even get chairs to sit down. Not the niggas who get $300 Zales to talk. No, nigga. Biggs' brother, he gonna wanna call me? Come kiss the ring of the boss, nigga. It's a beautiful morning, perfect time to feed yourself the knowledge. The knowledge. What's that? Rory and Maul, get off your knees. Get the testicles out of your mouth now. I don't know which one, the white one or the black one. Y'all both the same. Rory Maul, the Glazers. The Glazers. How y'all feel now? You know, Drake just committed suicide. I'm sure he'll retire next month. How is his lawsuit doing? How is the Drake University lawsuit coming? I don't know. I don't know, guys. I didn't listen to YouTube, man, last night. I'm just going by what you guys say. But once again, we up again, baby. It's the biggest boss.
And then, you know, a phone call was made.
Hey this, hey Biggs Burke, you got somebody that love you. You got somebody that really love you. I'm gonna leave it at that. Now, oh, and I love that person too. So, but you other dick sucking minions, you other glazers, don't nobody love y'all.
Oh my God.
Rory and Mally.
Oh shit.
Nobody love y'all. That's funny.
Cares.
Ross is funny.
Hilarious.
Hey, if nothing else, he's super entertaining. I think there's a career in professional wrestling for Rick Ross if he was to ever take it seriously. But I found it very interesting that within give or take 3 hours from the first video being posted up on the gram, he walked that Biggs talk back. And quite frankly, I was confused as to what is he mad at Biggs for? Biggs don't be waving the Drake flag. Biggs locked back in with Rock Nation. What did he do to catch a stray? Company man, I'm pretty sure you were abreast and aware of this situation. How did you take this in? How entertained were you by Rose with this whole deal?
I only saw Ross's response. What happened? Why did he get mad at Rory Maul?
Because Maul was at the streaming event that Drake had the night that ICEMAN dropped. There's a video rolling around on social media.
Oh yeah, I saw it. And he screams funny. He sounds like
screaming, and he's doing a lot of giggling in front of Drake. Something Maul has positioned himself as the coolest guy alive. To do that much giggling in front of a rapper doesn't seem like cool guy aesthetic to me. And I think Rose picked up on that. And instead of just dissing Rory, more specifically Maul, somehow Rory got into it, Biggs got into it. It just became a total mess.
I mean, I've been doing media for a long time. And at the same time, I know what it's like to actually be really excited to be at like some really cool exclusive events, right? So I can't knock Maul for just like enjoying the moment as he was documenting it. And I think that from what I can tell, because I don't have a relationship with Rory or Maul, but from what I can tell, like they understand this game. Sometimes you need like sometimes you have to, you have to be like corny like Drake sometimes for to cut through the noise. Like sometimes there's an advantage to having people who are going to come slight you one way or the other. But I saw that clip of Maul and I was like, that makes sense. If there have definitely been events that I've been to where I was, I've been the first time I was at Rock Nation brunch. It was kind of like I'm standing right next to Hove and I'm feeling that same kind of way. So I can't necessarily knock him for that one.
But
and I'm not surprised at Ross either.
Here telling us how cool you are and being a provocateur of cool and dictating what cool and what corny is. That's why they mad at Maul, because Maul always tells you how cool or how a real man is supposed to operate in certain rooms. That's his whole MO.
I mean, but that to me, I guess I look at that too. How about this? I feel like, at least for me personally, it's very obvious for me in terms of the things I want to achieve in life and the things that I value in life. I can tell the people I should be listening to when it comes to that from a distance. So I'm not necessarily someone who's looking at Maul to define what cool is.
Fair.
But Maul's also got a bunch of goofy gifs running around here of him dancing to Drake songs. That one he's like, whatever that one was. So, I just feel like it's all in good fun ultimately. And where it could have gotten serious, it looks like Ross got that phone call and then, he moved on from it. But, this is part of being outside, of being online, being on camera, going to events. Like this is the fun part. People are going to wear the wrong outfit sometimes. You know what I'm saying? People are going to laugh and it's going to sound crazy corny sometimes. People are going to get caught out here looking goofy when they're trying to point out other people looking goofy. Yeah. It's just the nature of what it is.
This is Hove. Macito, your OVO brethren is out here causing problems, getting his brother shot at. What are your thoughts on this whole ordeal?
Ross looking very goofy, bro. Let's be honest here, man. Like, ain't no other way about it. Like, this the same man that, remember where this started? From where I remember it starting is Rory actually criticizing Ross because of how goofy he looked, like apologize or semi-apologizing to Drake one day, and then the next day talking about how terrible Drake as a person was after he heard himself get the flip flop he did within that versus situation. I seen Rory commenting on that, and that's what I didn't even know the path that you had mentioned for contextually, y'all. But listen, man, he looked completely goofy in that situation, right? That's why you mentioned the cease and desist. I don't even know to believe anything this guy says at this point, right? Like, we literally saw in 3 hours this man go from threatening to that pathetic video. And did you see the picture right after it with him screaming at the screen or staring at the screen with the
playing Rock Boys,
playing Rock Boys in the background? Like, you are not a Rock Boy, my boy. Oh, like, you're not. Nah, you got the this is whole phone call, the this is whole text, and straighten that out, bro. Because so Ross, man, Ross is like reaching like Game levels, right? Like, Game is like that rapper that's so nice, that you love, that you look for every album that he's gonna drop, but you skip the whole rollout because you don't want to get lied at for 7 interviews. That's Ross right now. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe anything he says. There's nothing he won't say for clout to get in front of the screen right now. That's what it seems Ross is seemingly. He really trying to sell this book. He's somehow been in like headlines for like the past couple weeks. None of them flattering. You know what I'm saying? Like, they even was saying he lost the verses, bro. Like, Ross gotta, you know what I mean? Ross.
It was sad verses.
There's nobody there's nobody as committed to the character as Ross, but the character is getting a little stale. I'm not gonna hold you, and I say that respectfully because I got 2 weeks ago. I was just talking about how much of a fan of Ross I was.
Shit, you did, right? Golly, Deanie, talk to me, man.
The ultimate hustler, man, willing to rise and fall for the goddamn dollar. I just think this is a nasty way to go, bro. To move a book, to move some. It's not even really champagne. It's like a sparkling wine. Shout out to Bel Air. This is a lot, bro. This is a lot. Whatever those cans of whatever he was opening, it just reminded me of the scene from Terminator 2 when the nigga was being lowered into the lava, and I just could see Ross just the hand come out and something's being advertised, the book come out of the lava, a hat come out of the lava, like just no matter what, even at the face of death, nigga, I'm gonna get this promo off. And I just think he's kicking out a lot of the wrong doors trying to get this promo off. My thing is I want to know what was the the energy on a phone call? Was it just say, hey, I'm gonna need you to walk that back? Was it a little more energetic? Was a little more aggressive? That's kind of the thing that's running through my mind. The whole thing, somebody love you. When we mentioned the other two niggas don't love you two niggas because I ain't get the call about you two. I thought that was hilarious, man. Say what you want about Ross. He gonna be a fool for the dollar, man. He gonna show out. Shout out to the greatest patrolman.
Damn.
Yeah, go ahead, Sam. I know I
Look, I have a bit of a soft spot for Ross, I guess. Not a soft spot, but
love him musically.
Like, yeah. But it's not just that. It's just, yeah. Please excuse that. But because Mace compared him to the game, and I see it. I see the comparisons, but like, I don't know. Rick Ross has always been a whole wrestler to me, like a whole WWE character. Like his whole persona, the way that he talks in interviews, the way that he talks about himself. He doesn't even talk in the first person. He always talks about himself in the third person every time. Well, Rose, you know how he do. Rose, the ultimate hustler. Out here just hustle. Like it's a whole persona that like it. Honestly, it feels like a wrestling character to me, and I guess in that sense, I throw him like a little bit of bail. Whereas with the game, I don't get the same like, world building or character building. I just think like, he does that. I think whether the game was a celebrity or had the spotlight or not, he would be doing the same sucker shit. Whereas I think Rick Ross very calculatedly says, let me just cut a promo right now, And he, that's what he was doing right here. He was cutting a promo. He went too far, and we know, Rose, when he let the Tommy gun off, he don't look to see who he's aiming at. You know what I mean? Somebody big, no pun intended, but somebody big or somebody that has no business catching a stray is gonna catch a stray. He don't care where he's shooting. It's just part of the persona. He gets caught up in it. But yeah, I mean, the fact that he walked it back in such a hilarious way. And again, not talking about himself in the first person. He didn't even say, Biggs, I love you. He said, Biggs, you got somebody that loves you. It might not be me. It might be somebody else.
And I love that person too.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I guess I appreciate the character work of it all. Still suckery, but like in a different way, a way that I think separates him a little bit from game.
Hey man, look, I'll be honest with you. In real time, when I saw this video, I think I put in the group chat that he's gonna get a call from Hov behind this. Because you can't say all of the things that he said about Biggs and not expect that phone call because it was too salacious. And Biggs, I don't know if Rose didn't know. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he didn't know that Biggs is completely back in the fold. He's full paper planes gang. You know what I mean? Most of his tweets are, even in the midst of every media run that Dame does, it's usually a pro Jay-Z tweet that goes viral. He don't tweet much, but when he does, it makes a lot of noise. So I'm going to give Rick Ross a situation. I'm going to give him a bit of a pass now. I don't think he knew that was an ally. That's a friend. Or what they say in the Mafia, that's a friend of ours. I don't think he understood that was a friend of ours that you were going at right there. And to see it happen so quickly, followed by the Rock Boy story, quite hilarious. Shout out DJ Toon. We made a Instagram post about it, and I was like, essentially, Rose apologized. That's what that was. DJ Toon commented on it and was like, that's not an apology. What are you talking about? Where I'm from, if I say what I say, and then the next post or the next viral post is me walking it back, where I'm from, that's an apology. Just because you don't say I'm sorry, don't mean that you're not apologizing, bro. You know what I mean? If you say somebody loves you, but the other two guys, whatever Glazers, you apologizing, gang. You were told that you were out of bounds. The call came from the tippy top. It might have been himself on the bat phone. I don't think that was Lenny S or OG One or any of these other guys. I think that came from Jay-Z himself. And he was like, oh man, you cannot say that. You cannot say that. So remember that bro meme?
That's the
He
bro.
can say that. He can say that.
Anybody can say that, but not you.
Can't say that. I think that was he might not even have fucking sent. He might have just sent that gift to Rose. Quite frankly, it might not even have been a phone call. And he understood the sentiment. You know what I mean? I don't think this rollout is going very well for Rose so far. The verses wasn't the best. The mixed messaging in the media wasn't the best. And much like I said earlier today, where the music at? You got an album coming out in a couple weeks. Do we have a single?
I don't think so.
We got no music out, no visual, a lot of bad optics. How are we supposed? And a book that nobody wants. No disrespect to the biggest, because I love his music, but this ain't going. This ain't going like I thought he thought it would go. He was gonna roll out, talk about Drake in the midst of the ICEMAN situation, be viral versus be viral. Key make fun of one of the biggest pod platforms in the game, Rory and all, be viral again, and it will go well. But quite frankly, every step of the way, if it wasn't a clear and definitive L, it was a grayish kind of L, and it's not going well for Rose. I hate that for him. I love his music, but this is as good as a rollout. Say what you want about Iceman, as good of a rollout as that was, this is the antithesis of what a good rollout is as of right now. So it is what it is. Anybody got anything else to add on this Rose situation?
What is this book even about?
Yeah. I'll say this.
I
don't know how bad this is really. I don't know how bad this is really going for him. You know, like he's getting a lot of looks. Now these might not feel positive, but we know he's in the marketplace. You know, I wouldn't drop a music video or a song right now with Drake dominating everything. That's definitely not what I would do. And you know, book sales a lot of times are about how much money you have to buy your own product. So you know, you'll never. We shall see. I think the book. I think the jury's out on Rick Ross right now. But I do find him, at least bare minimum, I can say he's not the person that Drake was talking about on Ran to Atlanta with Future, talking about standing 10 toes down on quicksand. Because he's still giving that boy hell. So
that part right there. Darnell Lee said he's not rocking with me this episode. I'm not sure what I did. I thought I was pretty tame this episode. So Darnell Lee, let me know, what did I do to upset you? Did I say bad things about Drake that you didn't like? I'm sorry. You know, I spoke my truth on Aubrey. I like some songs. I don't like most of the album. To me, he's 17 or not even 17. Maybe he's like 15 for 43. When you tally up all three albums, maybe even 14 for 43. Somewhere in that vicinity. Like he's high volume. He still got 30. But it wasn't a pretty 30. Can we agree to that? No? Let me know in the chat, Darnell. You know, but we got to get to the super chat. Maybe throw me a super chat and I'll talk to you some more. But right now, you know, we're going to get to the people who have dedicated their time and their fiscals to the Rap Round Table. Let's get to these super so we can get up out of here. First and foremost, we had Jeremy Cole, one of our staunch supporters, up top. I don't remember one bar, proceeds to quote several dot lines. Those diss tracks were eating him alive for 2 years. That's what I'm saying. It's just like, brother, the hypocrisy of it all.
J. Cole cooking.
Jeremy Cole back again says, never seen the album try to rewrite a narrative so hard. Man, look. Man.
Yeah, he ain't capping.
J. Cole again?
Yeah. Philosophical Radio, the homie. Doing this thing, love his platform. You got to have Deanie up there. Deanie the misogynist. He'll fit right in. Hey, don't tell L that Deanie's a misogynist either. Company.
Oh shit, chill.
Oh man,
he was beating up Big John on Wednesday, man. I'm like, oh,
L and BK. That was so unexpected. I did not know that was gonna happen. They didn't group text me. Did nothing.
That's why Culture United is so fire.
I ain't gonna lie.
You know, I think he handled it great. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Big John.
That was a classic moment.
Hello, what up, gang?
That was funny.
He says, been busy, definitely back to support my favorite hip-hop podcast. Y'all the best. Let's cook. Salute, man.
Ella been trying to pull up for a long time. Shout out to Ella. We gotta get him up.
We're going to trade appearances, so he'll come up here, then you'll go to his platform. We just got to figure out the time. Mike H, home team says, Iceman on repeat. Don't tell nobody, LOL. Mace, let me hold your owl chain. Your baby mama ain't single. Damn, where she at? We just lost company.
Mike H.
Is he back? Wait, hold on.
Come through, Mike H. You know we have Club Paradise has tickets, bro. Pull up, man.
Oh, man.
Iceman. It's a cold man.
That mean stray.
Motley Crue says, regardless of the mid music, why has Drake not asked the White House to stop using his music and cover for ICE? He's definitely not like us. Exactly. That's all we saying, man. Down in Dixie says, shout out to Mace for basically saying Drake's numbers were already declining long before the battle with Kendrick. Seasons change for everyone, and Buttermilk Poppy is not exempt. Hey, man, all Mace do is what I've been.
Oh,
Buttermilk
shit.
Poppy, I feel like I want to pause that. I just feel
right.
crazy.
I want to pause that personally.
You know, matter of fact,
it's not exempt.
Shouts to Down in Dixie. You know, you pull up all the time. But
that's the gang right there.
I don't know if I would want to type those words next to each other.
That was a little wild, bro. You know, I almost want to give you your bread back. I ain't gonna lie, like that was crazy. That was wild. Philosophical Radio says, even if Drake is selling, so the fuck what Vanilla Ice soul records. He's been exposed as hip hop's ear is being recalibrated, and Drake doesn't make the cut. Oof. Yeah, philosophical.
From the top rope.
Jeez.
David T, longtime listener, says Sin loves numbers when it comes to Drake declining and Kenny doing well. We see the play that. Yeah, Sin they want to have that conversation today.
Hashtag noticing. Same.
Sin become Bill Nye when the numbers be hit.
Yo, MJ is putting belt to ass to Drake from the upper room. LOL. All right,
MJ's the GOAT. I'm not mad at that.
Philosophical again says Sin has to kick numbers because that's the reasoning Drake fans use to exert his greatness ultimately. Oh, he talking to you, Mace, with that ultimately in quote. He's a
hashtag That's
you
the
wanted
real
to make
story.
it too philosophical? Like I'll pull up. You know what I mean? I'll pull up. We can talk about it.
Dre God says, just throw to Frank. I've been saying that for 2 years, man. He don't listen to me. I even DM Drake and says to stop, like just diss the nigga directly, stop bullshitting. Because I'm like, yo, all this even on Heart Part 6, like, bro, like enough of this bullshit. Like, are you gonna diss him or not? You 40. Like, he be cosplaying like he a new nigga. Drake is 40. He lived through all the shit we lived through. He knows the rules.
40 or
anyway. He's 30. He's 30 now for the people because well, actually, he's not 40 yet, nigga. Anyway. Don't forget, Drake is having said, even you.
Even you.
Just Gwen says, cook job, but they're going to call you a hater. Well, I mean, listen, nobody likes me. It's all right.
Salute to Gwen.
The realist $2 Euro says, Drake is fine with MAGA using his music as promo. Drake is open for business. Anybody can use his music. Just Gwen, salute, fellas. I can't catch your live, but shots for having Justin on tonight. But you know I'm here for the replay. Salute, Just Gwen. Very active. Remember,
JG.
Yeah, man.
On team.
Vocabulary, fire name. Somebody said Drake makes music for niggas that sigh until someone asks what's wrong. Oof.
Damn.
Yeah, Mace.
I know a lot of people like that too. That's scary.
Like the 2013 era Drake joke. You remember the back in the day?
Drake the type of nigga. Like, what's wrong, babe? You still mad at Kendrick?
One big sigh.
What song is that? What song is that where he says, all my ops are dead? And then the next line, he's like, I never tell a lie. It's like, first of all, your ops look like they thriving, homeboy. I'm sorry. Your ops look like they thriving right now.
Did you ever consider he meant, you know, the tuna fish sandwiches that he dusted out earlier that day?
Right.
Had a
you ever think about that?
I definitely had to open the tent on how much or what he might be talking about.
The man likes tuna fish.
He had his pops denying cancer in public because he want to put it in the rap. Like, Jesus Christ, Aubrey. Mr. Ohio Player says, we'll be back at the table when conducted Drake drop before the end of the year. Soon we'll get his 10 to 14 track album. Enjoy the music. We tried to. We listened to it with open ears, or we didn't, Mr. Ohio.
Mr. Ohio Player, I'm glad you said it. We'll be back.
We did like Scary Hours 3, though. And it's on wax that we like Scary Hours 3. So don't play with us.
Everybody else will be too.
You know what I mean? All right, relax.
They said that with
that's a shot. That's a shot, y'all. That's a shot. Everybody will be back. Even people who say they won't be. You feel me?
Matter of fact, let me put it on wax. Everybody who said that they didn't listen to the album, I'm calling cap on. Even if I like you, I'm calling cap on all of it. Everybody listened. The thing is, they were so specific in what was said in the disses that you didn't listen to the album you ain't listen to. Come on, y'all. What we doing here? Conspiracy theories about the World Cup, and then the announcement comes out today that he's doing a closing ceremony. Guys, come on, guys. Let's reel it on back in. We are losing the plot a little bit here. Drake obviously wants to smoke with Jay. No, you don't. Not sure why, but I'm here for it. Battles always make hip hop more fun. Drake should have just, when the offer was made many moons ago, he wouldn't be in this Lucius situation now. He might not be as rich, but he'd be in a different situation. The King Rod 305 games or gyms, I don't know, says, I'm not too surprised by the reception of Drake's album. Me personally, Drake stopped making super quality albums after 2015. Musically, he's been on the decline. I agree. Mr. Chahudri says, in a vacuum, it's as good or bad as any other Drake album from a rap standpoint. But the context of the battle and the aftermath makes it feel lame. Yeah, that's a good sentiment. David T says, for such a soft rapper, Drake ain't scared to go at people. That's hip hop to me. Speak your truth. I mean, I've always given that. He gets in the ring.
Then he sues. Then he calls his lawyer. Okay.
Yeah.
Then he calls his lawyer. That's what he does.
And you know what? And I didn't talk about the lawsuit tonight. I talked about it on Friday. And that's the thing. Like, there's nothing that he really can say that's valid because it's like a Venn diagram. You just go right back to he sued. Yeah. Lawsuit. That's about to get tossed the second time.
I mean, like if we could teleport back to 2011, 12, right? You just look at that complete hip hop landscape, and you look at all the rappers that were even out at that point in time, and you put them all in a lineup, like we're all, reasonable suspects, and we're looking at usual suspects, and we're looking at all these guys in a lineup, and you have to ask yourself back in 2012, 13, which one of these rappers is most likely to sue over a lost rap battle?
I don't even know how. I don't know.
Everybody would have landed on this guy. You think we saw it for this. We saw it. This all the things that people were critical of in the beginning. He is now living up to.
You're right. I just never would have thought that day would come where a motherfucker would sue, bro. Like that, legit. I never thought that day would come. The amount of times he then came at, and thing is, he was a. I'm getting worked
firing, bro.
He started this shit. He the one who was salacious first. The audacity to sue for any reason at all. It's ridiculous. Anyway, moving on. Great point by the company, man. No amount of streaming can determine quality and lasting power. He's been throwing shit at the wall. Yeah, yes.
Talk about it.
Once again, he lost the luxury of dissing anyone when you sue. Right on time. Wow. Overlord says, people keep referring to the artists that abandoned Drake during the beef. What exactly were they supposed to do? Fight Kendrick for him? I think that's what he thought. Or at least say, hey, guys, he's not a PDF. Don't believe that mean thing Kendrick said. Something, I guess. I don't know.
Stand in my corner.
Jermaine L. Johnson says, if Ho responds on some real MC shit and the record goes crazy, who's to say that Drake won't file a defamation suit against oh shit.
JLJ.
Yeah, but again, once the lyrics get brought to the court proceedings and they read it and it says that he said this, and this, Epstein filed jokes, Beyonce lines, things of that nature. Once again, his legs get cut off by himself. Jeremy Cole says, I'm convinced the battle rappers co-wrote a lot. I mean, the way he sets up his bars is giving battle rapper.
There was some great
Where'd you come up with that, J. Cole?
I was impressed. Like, whoa,
where'd that come from?
And that makes me think back while the battle was happening, and I forget who it was that made the point that all of the battle rappers were siding with Drake. It's a fucking course. It's a whole pipeline from the battle rap from Drake to the battle rap.
You saying Drake is Nick Cannon?
Hey.
He used to pop out and host them shits too. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just fuck with him. He used to host a lot of them little rap battle joints.
He kind of is. I mean, Nick Cannon puts a lot of money in rappers' pockets. Drake. I think. I mean, I don't really generally have a problem with Nick Cannon overall, but
same.
But it looks like they both seem to have a transactional relationship with a lot of people in the industry. So maybe Drake is
they give a lot of light. They shed a lot of light for people.
Battle rap community not taken seriously by people of the cloth, but loves hip hop and rap a lot. I can see there's a lot of parallels that we've never thought of before tonight. My listening library says Drake has been right MAGA-leaning for a while now. The streamers he goes to and the people who he surrounds himself with are mostly right-leaning. There you go. And then the bars themselves, you know what I mean? TB. Hey, my babe. Instead of diss and die, Drake should recognize he's one of the artists. He's the one artist forcing him out of the comfort zone. That pressure is the reason people are even listening closer right now. Low-key, Dot isn't hurting Drake. He's keeping them relevant in a different way. Are you a writer, TB? What publication do you work for? Alex, I guess. Alex, interesting way to spell that. Alex 4511 says your baby mama won't even post your book. Damn, when she at? Yeah, see.
Yeah,
I want to ask a question about that because that was actually one of my favorite moments in the live stream. When they go upstairs at New Hope King and have their party, I like that. That was one of my favorite moments in the live stream. And then the song itself, like that's one of the catchier hooks on Iceman.
Yeah.
And then I turned on TMZ and I saw ASAP and Rihanna put their baby in their car and they were going somewhere, right? And so it's like, as much as I enjoyed that scene and I get it, who's this really for? You know what I mean? Like
it's
why?
Juvenile, bro. It's juvenile raps. You know what I mean? People are living their lives, married, kids, about to be married. They've moved on. They used to. In a lot of ways, it's almost like Drake is still a nigga who's still a senior in high school, but we done graduated 10 years ago. Got a career and all that. He's still telling you he was a man in high school. Like, bro, you gotta elevate. You gotta grow up. This is arrested development behavior.
The number of references to how. What did he say? He says a lot where he says, I didn't break up your marriage, you came to my house. Like the number of lies that were like that that are still in here. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I guess, people like it. We got a quote, Alex quoted it right here. You know what I mean? But it's like once I look past the first line of whatever he's talking about, then I get to the second thought, then I get to the third thought, and and then I get to the point where I'm like, I feel like I thought about this more than Drake did.
Is this album for thinkers? No. Album not for thinkers.
It's not.
Alex once again says, I can't wait to see what El Jannah has to say Wednesday just shit. Me too. I
think she might be favorable. BK's gonna be the one that I think she's gonna have that chopper fly over there. El might be a little bit more.
Based on the little clips I saw, I think she threw some teasers in her IG story.
Yeah.
It's gonna be free smoke on Wednesday.
It's gonna be some smoke. It's gonna be some smoke on Wednesday.
Down in Dixie says, y'all pause everything. Doth protest much. Leave us alone, bro. We might pause you next, bro. You know what I mean? Bro. That's some wild shit. You said buttermilk poppy, bro. I should ban you for that. Like, come on.
Dog.
Do you know what buttermilk is? Do you know what literal buttermilk looks like? Like that's why we flaming you, bro. Joe Blackie, what a name. 5336 says, and straight out of Compton, the no Vaseline part sums everything up. Jerry Heller wanted to sue Cube, and Easy saying Chitless battle rap. If you get it, you get it. There you go.
Yeah,
we thought he got it.
Right.
Jermaine O'Johnson says, I did not and would not listen to Iceman. No interest. I did, however, give Dead and Hip Hop the views by watching their play along reaction. So you listened. That's the point.
You tapped in, brother.
Hitman 1887 says, I wish Drake never dropped music. Sick of him letting his haters eat with opinions nobody give a fuck about. It's 1,000 niggas here.
I'm still struggling because by proxy streams is crazy.
Nas did, Push did. We can continue. Shout out to real hip hop. You know what I mean? Shout out to you giving us your money to bitch too. Just like Drake, just bitching. All y'all niggas do is bitch. You know what I mean? LTCLO says, got the nerve to be calling people pussy all over the album, talking about drilling, putting money on your head, bailing people out of jail. You're not that guy. You in court. Babylon. Exactly. That is our final super chat. You know what I mean? Wow. Company, man, we thank you for running the marathon as usual with us.
Man, always.
I'm looking forward to Wednesday's episode. Culture United should be a great one. One for the book.
Tap in.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I had fun tonight, y'all. This was a great stream.
Great stream.
Didi the Balance. Once again, thank you, Justin. Everybody knows who you are, but matter of fact, just for the people who might not have seen you before, where can they find you on social media? Where can they find your content everywhere?
Word up at the Company Man on everything. Culture United Clips channel up now.
Fire.
Third Verse podcast with Stack Quo, DJ Mormillion, and myself. We're going live. We're now a morning show.
Yeah.
Right. So we go live every Tuesday morning in studio, and then we go live every Thursday morning through StreamYard. And so through Tuesday and Thursday mornings, 8 a.m. PST, it's all happening.
We love it. Great content week in and week out. One of the hardest working men in streaming. I see you out here, Company, man. You putting a lot of work in. You know what I mean?
We all got to evolve. You got to evolve. This is where the game is now. People out here streaming. This is how you interact with people. This is how we build community. I'm honored to be in the same community with the Rap Roundtable, my favorite podcast.
My God.
Yo, See how Dre be bugging out at the end? I should, like we flaying K Dot when he dropped Mr. Morale, and we still call it Mr. Mid. We still do it to this day. We call it Mr. Mid in
the mid steppers, man.
Mr. Morale.
They do
trademark that.
And then Sincere gets mad and we have fun. That's what we do. It hasn't changed. I don't understand. People get so emotional and they just be making shit up.
That album is so good.
It's really not. But they need a balance. Take us home. See, you see, Dre? You see? It still happens.
Shout out to the company, man. Nothing but illustrious guests on the Rap Roundtable. He's family here. Shout out to each and every one of you in the chat right now watching. We appreciate it. Hit the like button. Whether you're watching right now on the spin back, subscribe. The subscribe and the like is free, y'all. Shout out to all the super chatters. We appreciate every dollar goes back into the business so we can keep grinding. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jarvie. Shout out to Macito. Shout out to Sam Dean, the balance. Shout out to the homie company, man. Once again, with our powers combined, man, we out of here, man. It's Monday Night Raw. Rap Roundtable, Culture United type shit.